Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com. Today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Timbren rear axle SES suspension enhancement system available for the 09 to 18 Ram 1500. If you find yourself using your Ram to its fullest potential, towing a very heavy trailer, or just carrying around an extremely heavy cargo bed with a ton of cargo in it, this is the product for you. You know what I'm talking about if this is you. If you use your Ram 1500 for all of those uses, you know that it can sag a whole bunch, which ultimately affects your ride comfort, your steering control, obviously your trailer handling, your load optimization. All of that can be thrown out of whack when there's such a heavy load at the rear end. Using the Timbren system here will absolutely make your life a lot easier when you're towing and hauling such a heavy load or carrying a heavy trailer at the rear end. Basically what these do, these just replace your factory jout stops, otherwise known as bump stops, above your rear axle. Now those factory stops are just probably about half the size of these, and their job is to make sure that it maintains stability with a heavy load by cushioning that response on top of the rear axle. This Timbren SES suspension enhancement system replaces those jout stops, gives you a larger bump stop with an AEON heavy rubber spring. These are hollow springs that are meant to carry that heavy load, to support your suspension, maintain stability, optimize your load handling, reduce all of that trailer sway, and reduce your body roll and body sway when carrying such a heavy load at that rear. These bolt right up into that factory location, that factory jout stop pocket, and they'll rest up against the top of your rear axle when the heavy load puts that pressure on it. When you're not towing anything, they absolutely have no impact on your ride quality. It won't do anything. It's not something you have to worry about taking off. It'll sit just above your rear axle with a solid gap, and then once that load comes in contact with it, it'll lower down and prevent that sag by supporting that weight. It'll keep that truck leveled, and one of the smaller things that you might not realize is a problem is with that sag, your headlights aren't even pointed in the right direction. It's gonna pull your truck down so you're pointing upward a little bit, which can compromise your safety on the road. Overall, these have a ton of pros and, in my opinion, absolutely no cons. There's no reason you shouldn't pick this up if you're using your truck for those uses. Using it to its full functionality, these will get your money's worth, no problem. This stuff comes in right around 215 bucks for both replacements for those factory jout stops. Those rubber hollow springs here, super durable. As you can see, an inch, maybe even a little more thick, so they're a lot more durable than the factory jout stops, which can wear out over time. They also come with these spacers on the top, steel spacers on the inside with a bolt, as well as the nut on the inside. So all the hardware needed for the kit is included, and there's no cutting, no drilling, none of that nonsense. It bolts right up to that factory spot. I want to show you guys how that gets installed, which by the way is going to get 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. The only thing you have to worry about is getting your rear end up enough to let the rear axle sag. You need to let that rear axle sag and have it up in the air enough to get a ratchet and a socket or an impact gun in to unbolt your factory jout stops. That's the only thing you really need to worry about. As you can see, we've got our Ram set up on the lift behind me. We're going to put it up in the air and unbolt those factory ones. Overall, it'll take about 2 hours from start to finish, maybe even a little bit less if you're quick to get it up in the air. Simple hand tools will get the job done, so let's get to it. Guys, step number 1 is to get your factory jout stops out of the way. Now these yellow things here are your factory ones right above the plate on the axle. This is exactly where it's going to be, but we got to get these out of the way. They're not exactly bolted in, they're just kind of wedged into this pocket here, so you're going to need to pop these out. It's really simple. These little indents sit on those indents and they hold it into place. So you just pop these out and we'll be ready to install our Timbren. Now just repeat on the other side. So we got our factory jout stop out of our 2014 Ram 1500, and as you can see, it's pretty significantly different than our Timbren suspension system. It's almost double the size of the factory one, and the quality is something you can just clearly see the difference in. If you look at the straight bottom, there's a complete difference between the way this looks and the thickness of this rubber spring and the Timbren system. You can just see how much more this can handle as far as load capacity. This one wouldn't even come in contact with the spring under certain loads. If you have a super heavy load that you're towing or if you're putting in your truck bed, this will definitely come in contact with the axle before this one ever would, which means you get more support with less load than this would require. So you can see that just by looking at it without even testing it. So that is something I would like to point out here. This one you can almost compress by hand and squeeze. This one, not even a chance. There's no way you're moving this thing by hand. So you can really feel the quality. That's how much I wanted to show you guys between the two. Number one, the size, and number two, the materials. So those AeOn rubber springs from the Timbren system, a lot different than the factory option, and it's just quality you can feel. Now, I'm excited to get this installed and show you guys where it sits and how much the size difference can look once it's on the truck. The big thing here is it just pops in by hand. Timbren recommends using soapy water to kind of lubricate the top end to get it to stick into the factory joust stop cup holder. That's exactly where it's gonna go. There's no bolting necessary. It's already pre-assembled out of the box. If you get yours and for whatever reason you disassemble it, you'll just be able to pop this spacer up on the top using the metal spacers in between, the steel spacers, and the bolts go right through. It just bolts right up to itself, and then this pops into the cup. We're gonna use a little bit of lubricant to get this installed. Soapy water is what they recommend. We have, PB Blaster, other things like that. The only thing about using PB Blaster is it doesn't dry up like soap and water would, so it can stay lubricated for a longer amount of time. Whatever you're using to get this to pop up, you don't wanna stay in there. You want it to dry up so that it just sticks into place. So I'm gonna show you guys how this gets done. Let's get to it. Now the trick to getting this installed, we're starting on our driver's side, is to twist and push upward at the same time. You've got it a little bit wet. Soap and water is doing the trick. You'll feel it kind of click into the seat. PB Blaster definitely helped here. Don't use too much if that's the route you're gonna go. Just lubricate it enough to pop into place. As you can see, it's totally secure. What you'll notice is there's about a 4 to 5 inch gap between the bottom of the Timbren system and the top of the axle. Now keep in mind, there is no load on a rear axle right now. We're fully drooped. Once this is on the ground, this will close to about 2 to 3 inches, which is exactly what you want. Repeat for the other side. Now you're good to go. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up my review and install of the Timbren rear axle SES suspension enhancement system available for the 09 to 18 Ram 1500. You can get this kit right here at AmericanTrucks.com.